Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of the Accelerate Your Income 5-day challenge. So I'm going to get started by sharing my screen. Right. So yes, just to make sure if everybody has gotten their action guide, here is the QR code, and I will put the link in the chat. Give me a moment. Find the chat. There. Okay, so there is the link to the action guide if you haven't gotten that. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of day 2. So day 2 was find your customers. And here's my image for you finding your customers. Okay, so we talked about the one thing that all your customers have in common is that they all have the problem that you solve. So if you think through the problem you solve, start there. Then the natural question is, who has that problem? And those are your customers. What helps, why this is so helpful is, as Jay Abraham said, if you can define the problems better than your target customer, they will automatically assume that you have the solution. And so that means if you can talk intelligently and accurately about the problem and how it affects their life and how you can help them, they will trust you to provide that solution. And so how does this help you find your customers? Well, it helps you because you will find them wherever they currently are seeking the solution to their problem. So we talked about yesterday, if somebody has ants and they are, Googling exterminators near me, you need to be there. If they are in the, talking to their friends, their homeowners in the neighborhood, they might ask them for referrals and you need to be in front of them. So knowing your customer is really, really critical because you know where they hang out and where they're looking for the solution to the problem that you solve. So if anybody missed that, you can watch the replay, but let's move forward for today. And today we're talking about magnetic messaging, which is really talking about your business in a way that pulls your potential clients to you. So we're going to talk about 2 powerful ways to do that today. And we really dig into this, into the follow-up program to this challenge, which is called Fuel Your Startup Income Accelerator. And I will have more information for you about that on day 5. But just this is kind of 2 of the ways that we talk about your business. And I want to really dig into one of them today. And some of you have done this before if you've been to different Aviatra programs. So this is called the Elevator Pitch Plus. So of course, you know what an elevator pitch is. It's being able to speak intelligently about what you do during a short ride with somebody important that you happen to run into on an elevator. So we teach an elevator pitch plus, which captures what you do, who you do it for, and why, how you help them or why they should care, all in one sentence. So we're going to work on that today. We're going to workshop that today. So the format, and this is in your action guide workbook, the format is I blank so that blank who blank can blank. Okay. So and here's my example, I make planners, that's what you do, so that busy moms, that's your large description of your customer, like broad description of your customer, who want to stay organized. And that is a little bit deeper, right? Not just busy moms, but busy moms who want to stay organized. And then why should they care? So they can get everything done. So I make planners so that busy moms who want to stay organized can get everything done. So we're going to take a minute or 2 for you to do this yourself. So you can either jot it down in your workbook or on a piece of paper, and we'll workshop them. Sometimes this is if you haven't done this exercise before, it can be a little challenging to word it in a way that will flow naturally when you're talking to somebody. So that's why I want to give you a minute or 2 to work on this here in the workshop so we can talk through what you come up with. And actually, Lori, you probably have yours. So if you can chime in, you certainly are welcome to. Lori's a graduate of our Momentum program. Does anybody want to give it a try? At Aviatra, this is how we do it. We offer.
I can do it.
Oh, great. Thanks, Lori. Pop in.
As long as the traffic's not too bad here for a second.
Okay.
I'm Lori Wall with Spanish on the Fly, and we teach Spanish to people who want to communicate with non-English speakers.
So that they can
communicate with non-English speakers.
Yes, grow their business,
Yeah.
Have better relations with their employees, meet new people, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. The tagline that we're coming up with is for business, for travel, for fun.
Oh, love it. Perfect. So you can have different explanations for each one, if different elevator pitches for each one if you wanted. But I love that. And so as Lori demonstrated, she explains what she does, who her ideal customers are. They are people who want to learn Spanish, and why, so they can meet new people, have more fun, talk with their business associates, grow their business, whatever that looks like for them, whatever their reasons are. Perfect example. Thank you.
Thank you.
Candy or Becky, you want to pop in?
Hi, I'm working on it.
Great.
I was thinking about, I looked at this yesterday, and there's so many different ways I can go with this. I make baked flavored nuts so that nut loving people who want a snack with no preservatives are able to purchase that at my shop.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we talked yesterday about how you could position yourself as like a really great snack option, their go-to healthy snack. So it could be, I make delicious baked flavored nuts so that people who love to snack can have a go-to favorite that doesn't make them feel guilty, or a healthy go-to favorite that makes them happy and keeps them healthy, something like that. What do you think?
That sounds good.
Good. All right, Becky, you want to give it a try?
Yes. Okay. So I do more than one thing, so I'm just going to pick one for now.
Just one. Perfect.
I do alterations on bridal and formal wear so that people who are in a wedding or going to a special event who have clothes that don't fit them right, can have their clothes altered to fit right and look their best.
Yes. So that they can look their best, look amazing. I mean, you can, say that however you want. I love that. That was really good. Perfect. It's a very specific problem you solve. So that was a good one. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Oh, so that's right. I wanted to share where to use your Elevator Pitch Plus. So social media profiles, it's a super concise way of describing what you do on your social media profile on the about. Networking events. So if you're just standing there and somebody says, hey, what do you do? Lori can say, well, I teach Spanish to professionals, if it's like a business event, to professionals who need to, connect with Spanish speaking employees and other business owners so that they can grow their business. Something like that, right? She's got it right there at her fingertips. Other introductions, wherever that might be, social introductions, whatever, email introductions. And then you might want to put it on your email signature line, because it's, again, another concise way of describing what you do. And especially if you're doing some kind of outreach, people get that little extra bit of information without having to click through your website. Okay. The next thing that we're going to talk about, way to tool that you're going to use for messaging what you do and connecting with your customers, is your customer success story. And so I'm sure you have many of them. So in your workbook, there's room to write one of them down, but I hope you use this format to write several of them because it's so helpful to have sort of a story bank that you can rely on when somebody is talking to you. And like, for example, they might say, well, tell me more about when somebody had learned one about one of your students who learned Spanish, right? Then Lori's got this story so that she can pull out and tell. So the format we're going to use is called the STAR format. So it stands for situation, task, action, and result. So these stories are not long. They are, I'll go into it a little bit in a second here with an example, but these are, a few sentences for each one of those steps. And of course, you can expand it with more detail if somebody really wants to know, or you can contract it for situations where you don't have as much time. These are wonderful stories to have on your website and to use as testimonials. We'll go into a little bit more when you can use these after the example. So I wrote an example for a career coach. So here's her situation that she is sharing in her success story. So it's 2 to 3 sentences, as you can see. Jenny wasn't happy in her career. She felt trapped in her job and couldn't see a path forward. Every Sunday, she got a stomach ache from worrying about going to work on Monday. I actually took that from my own experience from my first job out of college. It was so stressful. I would get a stomach ache every day. Okay. So then the task, so STAR, remember, situation, task, action, and result. So the task is 1 to 2 sentences. She hired me to help her chart a new career path that would inspire and excite her. So then the action that you took together with the client, 1 to 2 sentences. So we identified her passions and skills and did a comprehensive job search for roles that aligned. We prepared her resume and I coached her for the interviews. So you're showing how you played the part in this. You're not saying you did all the work, right? But you played a part in this success story. And then the result, 3 to 4 sentences. So in this example, now Jenny is in a role that suits her to a T. She's excited to go to work each day and has already gotten a raise. She told me she never thought she could be this happy at work. And so what we're trying to get to is demonstrating this transformation. And it really helps after you write the story to boil it down into a transformation statement like this. Jenny went from stomachache to happy at work. Your client, Becky, went from looking ridiculous in this dress that was way too big for her to being the belle of the ball. Candy, your person who loves nuts, but was eating, chips and all that. They're just a big snacker. They always have to have a snack at hand. And they were eating chips and really unhealthy things, M&Ms and whatever. And then they found your nuts and they now feel good about snacking. And this is their go-to snack. And they have a bowl of it on their desk and everybody that they work with loves them as well. Something like that. And so they're going from unhealthy snacking to healthy snacking, confident snacking. So talking about where to use our customer success stories. So on your website, for sure. There's an opportunity for case studies or in your about or in your services. So on some of our sales pages for our programs, we talk about the program and then a little bit of information about the program, and then I'll put in a really short success story or a testimonial, and then I'll say more about the program, and then I'll put in another one and more, right? So you're constantly reinforcing, like, you've had success with this. People love what you're doing. They've gotten results. Another place for the success stories, social posts. If you have a photo of somebody enjoying, what you did, or the before and after of the clothing, or somebody in Argentina who now speaks Spanish confidently and can travel, right? Then you can, so the photo is there, and then the story is in the copy that you write for the post, in the, that comes along with the post. And even if you didn't have a picture of the person, you could have, like a bowl of the nuts and say, John is one of my biggest customers. He's a huge snacker, but for years he was eating snacks that really just packed on the pounds. Now, since he switched to nuts, he's eating fewer because they keep him fuller. They don't have the added fat or whatever you want to say. They have the protein and he feels amazing. Something like that, right? Super simple. Blog posts and case studies. If you have a blog on your website, use that for case studies and success stories. I mean, people love to read about the other people's transformation, and it's a great way to demonstrate your expertise through the story of your customers. And public speaking. I use stories about our alumni all the time. Every time I speak, every single workshop that I do, every speech that I do, I have stories about our alumni and what they're doing and how they're using what they learned at Aviatra and in their life and from being a business owner to grow their business. So really, and that's what I mean by that story bank. You know, once you develop some of these, you can pull them out when you need them, slot them in where you need them when you're speaking with somebody or to a group. So here's why this is so important. Messaging, why your messaging is so important. It really needs to be clear who you help and how you help them. It needs to be really clear because you want to attract your ideal customers and then push away your non-ideal customers. It's totally fine if somebody doesn't like nuts. It's totally fine. But you shouldn't, Candy, be spending your time marketing to them and your money marketing to them if they don't like nuts. So it's fine. Let them unsubscribe. Let them not follow you, right? That's perfect. They should do that. And then you're talking to your actual people. So same with you, Becky, you know, you're talking to people who have an event coming up. Everybody wants to look their best at these events. If they're just not finding the perfect outfit that fits them perfectly, they need to come to you. So it's very clear if in that particular area of services, if they don't have a special event coming up, they don't need you. And that's fine. So then you don't have to market to them, right? You're not taking your time and money to market to them. Of course, same with you, Lori. If somebody doesn't want to learn Spanish, no problem, but don't let them waste your time. And so being super clear about what you do allows them to opt out. It was really a good thing when somebody unfollows or unsubscribes because it leaves more room for you to focus on the people that actually will be your customers. So here's your assignment for this week. Take your elevator pitch that we wrote and put it on your social media profile on one platform. Instagram is usually the easiest because it's super short, but you can put it on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you want. This is your assignment for this week. Put it on there and see what reactions you get. And preview for tomorrow. Day 4 is the yes factor. So right up until now, we've been talking about mindset and then attracting your ideal customers. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to turn that interest into converted sales. I'd love to hear if anybody talked to their ideal customers yesterday. That was your assignment. I don't know if anybody made the time to do that, and it's totally fine if you didn't. But if you wanted to share, I would love to hear. Okay, looks like that was a no. You can always email me too. I'd love to hear it. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to see you again tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.